Hello everyone, so today is my eyeshadow palette declutter. I have done a massive declutter of all of my collection and I wanted to show you guys what I got rid of. So I'm splitting this massive declutter into several separate videos. I've already done my lip product declutter. Today's my eyeshadow declutter. I got a single eyeshadow declutter coming. I've got a bronzers, blushes, highlights, face palettes, all that fun stuff declutter coming for you. And then I reorganized my entire collection with you guys so you can see how I organize it. So if you want to see my lip product declutter, I'll go ahead and link it in the description box below. So that is what I got for you guys today. Before we get started, if you guys are new, hey, my name's Liz. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Also ring your guys' notification bell so you'll be notified for all of my future videos. And if you guys want to see my eyeshadow palette declutter, then just keep watching. Okay, so these are all of my eyeshadow palettes. I feel like I had a ton more, but I don't. So this should be pretty easy, although I do really love eyeshadow palettes. So that's the one thing I'm like, oh, I really like these colors, and then I keep them and then I don't end up using them. So I'm gonna try really hard to make sure that I get rid of all the ones that I'm for sure not gonna use. Even if I think they're pretty, I'm just gonna get them out of my collection. Okay, we are just going to start. So this Marc Jacobs one, this is the Fantasy one. I do really like this, but I don't ever reach for it. I did an entire video on this and I do think it's super, super pretty, but I don't get as much use out of it as I thought I was going to. Like, these colors are totally my colors, but I just don't reach for it anymore. So I do think that I'm gonna pass it along. My Loreal Pro, this is the number 3, I believe. This was my very first high-end palette, so I'm definitely going to keep it just for sentimental reasons. And then I also do really like the colors in here, so I'm definitely keeping that. These two e.l.f. palettes, this is the Rose Gold Sunset palette, and then this one is the Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette. It's the Summer Breeze one. I am gonna keep both of these ones as well, just because I think they're really good drugstore palettes. And if I wanna do a drugstore video or recommend drugstore palettes, these are definitely ones that I would go for. So I am gonna keep both of these. Same with my Pixi by Petra palettes. This one is the Eye Reflection Natural Beauty palette. And then this one is the It's Judy Time, It's Eye Time palette, I believe. And I am gonna keep both of these, again, because I think that they're really good palettes from the drugstore and I really like their colors. This one is all cool tone and I love cool tones, so definitely keeping this one. I'm gonna keep the Morphe by Kathleen Lights palette. I don't reach for it a whole ton. As you can see, a lot of it looks super unused, but I love Kathleen, and for that, I want to keep it so that I can, you know, just, it's like collecting. I collect Kathleen stuff. Anything that she's come out with, I'm pretty sure I've purchased, so at least since I've been following her, so I definitely want to keep this. This Makeup Revolution Soph X palette. The colors are super pretty and they're very springy and fun, but I just feel like I don't ever use it, and for me, the shades didn't perform as well as I thought that they were going to, so I am going to pass this along. The Violet Voss Pro HG palette. I'm definitely going to be keeping this palette. Is absolutely gorgeous. I love it, and the shades just blend super well. They're super pigmented. The shimmers are amazing, so this is one I'm definitely keeping. The Persona Color Theory Pink palette. I actually recently just picked this up, so I'm definitely gonna keep it. It's such a pretty palette, and the shades are so soft. Like, the shadows themselves are super, super soft, and yeah, I just love it. Love these tones, love these colors, so definitely keeping this one. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam, one of my all-time favorites. I really, really like this one, especially just going for that natural glam look as the name describes, so I'm definitely keeping this one. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. I do think that this has some really pretty shades in here, but honestly, I just don't use this. I don't remember when the last time it was that I picked this up. I typically will go into this Allure shade, but it's like almost the same as this Dusty Rose, basically, in Soft Glam. So I definitely, I don't know, just keeping it just because of that shade. Probably don't need it, so I think I am going to pass this one along. And then the Anastasia Beverly Hills Renaissance, Modern Renaissance palette, I think is definitely going to be one that I keep because, again, I really like it. It's one that I need to get more use out of, but I don't want to part with it, so I'm definitely keeping that one. The Sultry palette, this one's such a tough one for me because I do think that these shades are really pretty, but everybody loves this, but I don't know, it's not my favorite. And you know what? I think I'm gonna pass this one along. The Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, I am also going to pass on. I tried to declutter this last time and I ended up keeping it after saying I was gonna declutter it because I changed my mind, but now, I don't know, I just don't ever reach for it. I don't ever gravitate towards it, so I think that it is one that I'm going to pass along. The Huda Beauty Mob Obsessions palette, I've only used it like once and I want to try it again. I love these colors and I want to, I don't know, see if I still like it or not, so I'm gonna keep that one. These two Wet n Wild ones, this one is the Rose in the Air and then this one's Comfort Zone. I am gonna keep both of these because they are really good palettes. This CoverGirl Chocolate True Naked palette, I haven't even opened it. I actually got it in an Influencer box. They had like at the end of last year that you could pay like 50 bucks and get a whole bunch of products, and that's what I did, and this came in it. I still haven't opened it, and I feel like this probably is one that's just going to sit in my collection, so I'm gonna pass that one along. This one's the Nubian by Juvia's. This is just a little mini version of it, and I decluttered the full version that I had in it, but I think I am going to keep this mini version. I really like Juvia's Place formula, and I think I've gotten rid of all my other Juvia's Place palettes, so I think I'm going to keep that one. This Winky Luxe Kitten palette, I've actually never used, but every time I look at this, I think it's so pretty. It has such unique shades in here that I still think I'm going to keep it. And I'll put it in a Shop My Stash video, which forces me to use it. So I am going to keep this one. This Morphe by Jaclyn Hill. This is the Bling Boss palette, I'm pretty sure. Is that what it's called? Yeah, this is the Bling Boss palette. So I had purchased the whole entire Vault collection, ended up returning them, and then just keeping this one. I just purchased this on its own, and I haven't used it since I repurchased it, and I don't know, again, I have that Hush Hush shade that I really like in other palettes that are good. The formula on these weren't my favorite, and so I actually think that I am going to declutter this one. So I actually recently just picked up the Yes Please palette from ColourPop. I know, where have I been? This has been out forever, and I don't know, this palette recently has just spoken to me, and I've been seeing it online. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get it. So I got it, so I'm definitely keeping this one. I also will be keeping all of these ColourPop palettes. This is the Dream Street, the Zodiac, and the Sweet Talk palette that recently came out. Definitely keeping all of these. This is the Too Faced Just Peachy palette. This is another one that I really like, although it doesn't look like I ever use it. I do really like it, and it smells like peaches, and it's got a huge mirror in it, and there are some days where I just want a super peachy look, so this is one I'm definitely going to keep. And then I got the Tartelette Toasted palette. I want to keep this, but I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of it. I haven't used it for a while, but you know what? I think I'm going to keep it, and after using it, maybe in a Shop My Stash, if I decide I don't like it, then I will declutter it then. I also recently picked up, this is the BH Cosmetics Love in London palette, another really pretty cool tone palette, and I have yet to try it. I'm going to do a review video on it, so if you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. Another ColourPop palette that I'm keeping is the Fame palette and the Perception palette. Definitely keeping both of these. This is the Urban Decay Naked palette. This is a brand new palette. I had never used this or purchased this. I'd never tried it, and then they said that they were discontinuing it, and they put it on sale. So I was like, you know what, better get it before it's gone, and I never have the chance to try it. But I still haven't even tried it. I haven't swatched it. I haven't touched it. It's just like a brand new palette, and I can't decide if I want to try it or not, or if I just want to pass it along. I mean, some of these shades in here look really pretty, although they only have 3 matte shades in here. But I look at this and I'm like, that I have those shades in other palettes, I feel like, or even in singles. So you know what? I might put this one in my declutter pile for now and pass it along to somebody else who might actually get some use out of it. Just with all the palettes that I have, I feel like this one just stays at the back of my drawer and I never use it. This is a Natasha Denona Star palette. And of course, I am keeping this. I spent a pretty penny on it, and the formula is super amazing. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this. The Sephora Pro Cool palette, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter. I used it in one of my Shop My Stash videos recently, and I just realized that the formula isn't all that great. The shimmers aren't all that amazing. The mattes do blend out really nice, but I just feel like this is a palette that I'm not going to reach for very often, so I am going to pass that along. The BH Cosmetics Nouveau Neutrals palette, I am going to keep. This is what it looks like. It's just a really pretty warm tone palette, plus you got all these blushes right here. So if I'm ever feeling in the mood to go a little bit more warm tone, this is definitely the palette that I reach for, so I'm going to keep this. This BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. This is the Love Signs one. Recently just did a video on this one. I'll link that in the cards above, and I love this. This worked so amazing. The mattes blended out really nicely. And then the shimmer shades, the baked formula is like out of this world. You don't have to use a setting spray or anything. It's perfect. So I'm definitely keeping this one. The Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm definitely keeping. While the Vault Collections formula was not so great, this formula is really nice. I don't get as much use out of this as I would like to, because every time I open it up, I'm like, this is a beautiful palette. I don't know why I don't use it more. So this is definitely one that I also need to do a Shop My Stash on and get more use out of it so I can use up what I got. And then the last palette that I have, this is the Morphe 35G Bronze Goals. I also did a video on this. I do really like the matte shades in here. They did blend out really well, but the shimmer shades didn't impress me a whole lot. You had to really build them up. Some of them felt a little crumbly when you had to sit there and dig your brush in it over and over again, so that I wasn't super impressed with. But I do think I am going to keep it just so I can continue to try it out, and I just love the colors in here. I wish that they performed a little bit better, but the palette in general, the shades, this is like, I just love it. I just look at this and summery beachiness, glowing bronzed goddess. It's what I want. Okay, this is everything that I'm keeping. I didn't really get rid of a ton, but I have been decluttering throughout just time. I'll go through my collection and just pass things on that I'm not using a whole lot of. So I feel like I did have a ton more palettes at one point, and I've decluttered a lot of them. So this is everything that I am decluttering. Eyeshadow palettes are just one of my favorite things, so I feel like it's kind of hard for me to declutter them. Well, this may have not been the best declutter I've ever done, but you know, at least it's something. And like I said, I've decluttered a ton throughout the year, so if I had kept all those, I would have had a ton more to show you to declutter, but I didn't. So yeah. Okay, you guys, that is it. That is everything that I decluttered. I know that it wasn't like a huge eyeshadow palette declutter, but throughout the year I have gotten rid of a ton of my eyeshadow palettes. So like I said before, if I had kept all them, I would have gotten rid of a whole lot more in this video, but just throughout the year I've just kind of decluttered it as the year went on. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed. Definitely look for my other declutters that are going to be coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time. Bye.